came a little closer to the truth that day, and I heard it's cold in the alleyway. Now I want the only answer that I can take, 'cause I don't know nothing, I got no way. I got all muddled up and journeyed to the edge of town, and then the road cracked up and sucked me in and I went down. We're standing face to face with the king of the underground. Some things just don't add up, I'm upside down, I'm inside out. Hi. So, it's been a year. Actually a year and 1 day since I last released a YouTube video, and I've been really like bashing myself up a bit about that, especially this past week, because seeing that it was like 1 week left until that 1 year kind of milestone put the pressure on, and as I always do, I was like, you have to release a video this week by Friday. And I've got a ton that I've filmed all over the past year and a half. A few of them that are mostly edited and, you know, just need a few more hours work, but I don't know, I couldn't get it done. And so part of me, the part that I've kind of always had, the overachiever that's always working hard on things that, you know, people are like, wow, you're always so busy. She's like pretty annoyed that I haven't gotten it done. And, you know, like, what is even in the way? What's stopping me from doing that? I think the thing is, there's always a number of things stopping you. Like, there's probably a reason why I haven't done it. But then, when I think about the past year, there's actually a lot of good reasons why I haven't. I think one of the smallest reasons that I haven't finished any of those videos in time for this week or across any part of the past year is that they don't quite feel relevant, at least not without this video first. Just to say, you know, the videos that I might be releasing soon, hopefully, were recorded a while ago, and that they're not exactly who I am right now, but I still think they're worth sharing and having on the internet. So I think maybe this week that's why I haven't worked so hard on those old videos. But there's actually just been a lot over the past year that has kind of come between me and being the YouTuber I set out to be. I'm not going to give you tons of gory details, but I guess this video is kind of like a bit of a catch up, a bit of a, hey, how have you been doing for the past year? This is me. Over the past year, I've had to deal with something big happening in my family. I've had to deal with my own long-term relationship breakup. I've had to deal with work environments that have gone kind of toxic. I've had to deal with finding out about ADHD and the endless kind of appointments to get a diagnosis, which I still haven't got. I've had to deal with being pretty broke for almost the entire year, and just, you know, financial stress is its own thing. And, you know, there's so much that I thought I would have done by now. But when I look at the big picture and I look at that huge list of things, I'm like, wow, like, it's actually amazing that I've gotten to where I am right now at all. And I think I'm also very proud of who I am right now. And I have a lot of hope for the future and probably different goals moving forward now too. I guess one thing I do want to touch on a bit more is ADHD. Because if you also, you know, care about creating and hope to make a career out of that, For one thing, apparently ADHD is much more prevalent in creative people. But, you know, having it undiagnosed, it's something that seriously affected me, and that I was being so hard on myself about, not knowing that, you know, there was a real reason behind why I am the way I am. And even today, I still found myself Googling how to be more consistent, because I was watching a course about having a YouTube channel, and they're saying that how you have to release videos every week, and I haven't released a video for a year, but even before that, I've never managed to release more than like 2 videos in a month, and that was a huge push, and that was while I wasn't working. But I feel like a huge part of that are about keeping up with life, about keeping my apartment clean, about managing my energy between my job and what I want to pursue and my freelance clients and all of that. It's stuff that people with ADHD really struggle with. Where I'm at the moment is that I have just been medicated. I am taking Ritalin. It is definitely helping, but it helped a huge amount in the first week and then seemed to have a lot less of an impact, and I'm currently in the process of figuring out the right dosage and all of that, and having many very, very expensive psychiatrist appointments. And the psychiatrist has also said that I'm a question mark as to whether or not I have ADHD, whether or not I had it as a child, whether I have depression with ADHD symptoms, or whether I am ADHD and that's caused depression. It's just frustrating because the whole process is so slow and so expensive, and I'm 27 right now, and I've always wanted to be so much further ahead in my life than I am now. It's kind of a nice consolation to know that, you know, I've been playing Mario Kart with a lot more bananas on the road than most people. Well, at least that's what I, at this point, I'm identifying with, short of an official diagnosis. I think what I want to share with you about this is what first rang the alarm bells in my head. I never thought I had ADHD because I grew up with the very like Bart Simpson definition of it, like the 10-year-old boy who just can't sit still and is running around and disrupting his class. Whereas I was always a super overachiever throughout school. I was pretty quiet. I could be interruptive, but it was more if I was trying to get more information from a teacher or prove them wrong or something like that. So none of this was a cause for concern. It was a cause for me to get an IQ test and be put in all the extension classes. And I guess what really is annoying me about my psych is that he's kind of saying, look, you did so well throughout school and university and you didn't seem to struggle until after that. I don't think you have ADHD. And my point of view is that I did well in a very strict academic setting, where my entire identity was based off the fact that I was the best. And even then I did everything absolutely last minute. I pulled all-nighters. I was at school until 7 p.m. many nights just working on my art project. I think I submitted my art final like in pajamas, completely unwashed. Like, I was doing well, but I don't think it was healthy. But I digress. I have it somewhere on my computer. The first alarm bell was, I was watching a Netflix episode, one of the explained ones about, I think it was about Adderall and college students kind of misusing it because it allows them to focus on studying and they actually get like a dopamine reward for doing so. And I was watching this episode and I was like, damn, like that is exactly what I want for my YouTube videos. Because I know like once I'm sitting down editing, and that's the sticky point for me, is actually getting through the edit, but once I sit down and do it, I can hyper focus and I can do it all day. I can forget to eat, but I really enjoy doing it. The hardest thing is sitting down and doing it and feeling that sense of reward from it. So I remember Googling afterwards, like natural versions of Adderall, because I'm not about to start like finding some shady dealer or whatever, however you would do it, I don't know. But while I was Googling this and looking at all sorts of focus supplements, a quiz for adult ADHD came up, and I was shocked that a lot of the questions were really hitting home for me. And then what I actually want to share with you is the quiz for ADHD in adult women. I'm just going to share with you the questions, and I can't remember how many questions there were, but I think all but one of them I really highly identified with, and it summarizes my struggle with maintaining this YouTube channel, and also just my struggle with adulting in general and trying to pursue music and video and writing and anything creative, whilst also trying to work to pay the bills and trying to maintain relationships and trying to keep my space clean and myself clean. Let me read you the questions. Do you feel overwhelmed in stores, at the office, or at parties? Does time, money, paper, or stuff dominate your life and hamper your ability to achieve goals? Do you shut down in the middle of the day feeling assaulted? Do you feel like you are passing for normal but you really are an imposter? Do you hesitate to have people over to your house because you're ashamed of the mess? Do you have trouble balancing your checkbook? Do you feel as if life is out of control and that it's impossible to meet demands? Do you feel like you're always at one end of a deregulated activity spectrum, either a couch potato or a tornado? Do you feel like you often have better ideas than other people but are unable to organize them or act on them? It's cropped off the side. Do you start the day determined to get organized and end the day feeling defeated? Do you watch others of equal intelligence and education pass you by? Do you despair of ever fulfilling your potential and meeting your goals? Have you ever thought of yourself as selfish because you didn't write thank you notes or send birthday cards? Are you clueless as to how others manage to lead consistent, regular lives? Are you called a slob or spacey? Is your time and energy taken up with coping, staying organized, holding it together, with no time for fun or relaxation? Is it impossible for you to shut out sounds and distractions that don't bother others? Do requests for one more thing at the end of the day put you over the top emotionally? I remember sending this test to my mum and my partner at the time, and they both were like, that is you. I never knew that was ADHD, but that is you. And I wish it was so simple as going to the psychiatrist and being like, read this list, it is me. I've never heard my life summarized so neatly before, but this is me and I need help. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. So much of the diagnosis is still dependent on what you were like before the age of 12, and I don't remember what I was like. I know that I was an overachiever. I know that I spent many hours outside of school dancing. I know I also took a lot of naps after school, and that's kind of all I remember. So getting a diagnosis is hard, and that's what I've spent all of this year trying to do, which I think is a good reason, I guess, for not posting on YouTube or Instagram or releasing music or doing any of that, is I've been dealing with life. And I think I want to share that because I guess these types of non-productive periods aren't shared very often on social media. So I don't know, maybe it would be reassuring for you to hear as well that, I don't know, life happens and you can't always be pushing through, and that's not something to beat yourself up about. Sometimes there's really good reasons for it, and sometimes you're actually doing a lot of growing instead of creating, sharing. And I think that's what I've been doing this year. what I'm proud of is that I've really strengthened some friendships, and I've met some really, really amazing people too. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Oh. I've found a really good therapist, and I'm seeing her as much as I can afford to, but even, I don't know, maybe I'll share some of the work I've done with her in another video, because it's finally feeling productive as compared to just like basic bitch worksheets that I got from other therapists. I'm teaching myself guitar and even just enjoying creating for the fun of it, without so much pressure. It is hard to stop the habit of thinking, how can I turn this into something to share or monetize? But guitar or painting or crafting have all been things that I've taken up in my spare time instead of just sitting down and binging YouTube videos, even playing keyboard. I want to get back into dancing, and yeah, the start of being medicated has given me a lot of hope for what I can continue to do. There was one more thing I wanted to show you in this video. So this was my 2022 diary. I get so excited for new diary season every year because I love buying stationery and finding something cool, and I do get very excited about setting goals and having a clean year ahead. But I haven't opened this diary since February 7th. Yeah, no, this diary is completely unused. It's a shame that the dates of the year don't repeat and I could just use it next year. I think what I've learned is that I'm much more of a Google Calendar girl. But what I want to go through, because I haven't looked at them since I wrote them, is what I put down as my goals for 2022. I remember when I was writing them trying to be a little bit less ambitious with my goals. I wanted to make them something I could achieve in the short term, so I could get that sense of reward, and then I would write more goals for the rest of the year. So these were my goals at the start of the year, and I'm going to share with you whether or not I did them, but more importantly what my goals are now instead. So my first goal was get up with one alarm every day. Still not happening at all. I still sleep through my alarms. I'm late to work. But now at least I know that that's probably a result of ADHD and time blindness, and that medication has definitely helped that, and that I have to be extra careful of getting enough sleep. And I'm also trying to find work that isn't dependent on me getting up at a specific time, but instead works with my own natural schedule. Film my outfit every day. I wanted to blow up on TikTok by posting what I was wearing every day, and I think I didn't quite do every single day, but I definitely lasted for the first 3 weeks of January, and that was good. And then the year just became overwhelming and I stopped, and I don't think that's a problem. I'd still love to blow up on TikTok sometime, but that'll happen when it's meant to happen, if it's meant to happen. Write an album. I'm still working on that. I wrote the first 3 songs, and it's still something I think about every day. I was supposed to be recording it by now, but being able to sit down and get started on things is still the biggest obstacle for me, but it's something I'm working on. Develop a consistent YouTube release schedule. This is what I was talking about with consistency. Maybe once a year is a form of consistent. Clear my skin. I did work really well with my Chinese medicine doctor, and my skin is really good except for when I stop washing it and eat too much sugar, which happens pretty regularly, but it's a lot better. and it's actually, you know, controllable now. Read 10 books. I've read none. I've probably started 10 books though. I wanted 2,000 Instagram followers, and I think I'm still at the same amount I was at the start of the year, maybe even less. I wanted 5k YouTube subs, and this is why, I don't know, measurable goals don't allow for any flexibility. Cook dinner more often. I do it a tiny bit more often, that's something. But I think what my goals are now are much more about what I want my dream life to be rather than my dream self. I need to get back to working on habits that make me feel good and really looking at how I spend my time, and not measuring success by followers or subscribers or even how much output I'm creating, but just focusing on the input, I guess. I'm feeling a bit cheesy, so I'm gonna wrap up the video, but I always see your comments even if I'm not posting, so feel free to post anything down below. And yeah, I hope to be releasing videos to you again very soon. Some of them might be very old, or some of them might be new. Expect the unexpected. And yeah, it's been a year, and boy has it been a year, but I'm doing good, and I hope you are too. See you soon.